by Enterprise Fitness.
Gluten. Why it makes you fat, stupid, and infertile. And if you ask Christine, I pretty much blame everything on gluten. Let's just be honest. All right, what is gluten? Well, gluten is a peptide that is found in grains. So it's found in oats, rice, wheat, rye, and barley. There are over 60 toxic peptides of gluten, okay? There are peptides of gluten in rice, but there are no toxic peptides of gluten in that rice. Does that make sense? So different strands of gluten, but rice is a safe food if you're intolerant to gluten, okay? The ones that aren't safe are your wheat, rye, and barley. So when you talk about gluten sensitivity, it's wheat, rye, and barley. And gluten is basically, it's a protein. It was used to be thought as, gluten sensitivity was, it was basically you just had celiac disease. Okay, that was it. If you were sensitive to gluten, it manifested in celiac disease. And that was kind of the whole story about gluten sensitivity. But you speak to people like Dr. Tom O'Brien, who I guess is my mentor on the topic of gluten. He will tell you that what sits above is this term called gluten sensitivity. And if you kind of think of it as an iceberg, gluten sensitivity is the top half of the iceberg, and what sits below is links to Alzheimer's, cardiovascular conditions, elevated liver enzymes. Actually, in the Journal of New England Medicine, I've got it on the board. Actually, if you look in your books, okay, I think it's either before or after. Actually, it could be placed randomly as well. I'm not sure where we put it, but there's about 4 pages printed double-sided of references to gluten, okay? So if you're, I guess, scientifically inclined, just before the nutrition step plan, there are references, there's links, there's further reading, so you guys can basically verify what I'm saying today is true, and there are studies. So basically, what has been found is there are over 55 different diseases that are linked to gluten sensitivity, not celiac disease. Celiac disease is a manifestation of only one of them. Does that make sense? Gluten sensitivity, when it manifests as celiac disease, is when it affects the gut. But gluten sensitivity can also affect the brain. Does everyone know the Formula 1 team McLaren? Okay, McLaren have it in their contract that if you're one of their drivers, you are to be on a gluten-free diet. Why? Because they know that it slows down the reaction time of the drivers.